Let me know how the connection and stuff is, because boy, we might be struggling over here with this sort of internet. So, encoding overloaded. No, we're at 5,000. Okay, cool. Everything all good. Can you see? Change the resolution settings. You might be right. You actually might be correct. Stream quality. Yeah, I might have to go down to 30 FPS as well, bro. Or shall I keep it at 1080 and do 30 FPS? What do we think? Because I just want to make sure everything's okay before I start rattling off. Is that a bit blurry, or is that fine? I'll try and get into the habit of actually saying the numbers instead of just being like this and this and that from now on, because understandably you might not be able to see it, it might be a bit blurry. But it's okay so far. Great shout though. So yeah, here we are after a week in Dubai for the MDX shindig. It was a shindig, all right. I've got a couple funny stories in the back pocket for when we jump in the voice chat and stuff like that. Numbers not so clear in 720. Okay, let me try and change it to 1080 because I want to just test everything out first, just to make sure like everything's fine. Because I would like the resolution to be fine. I'm not too worried about the FPS. Okay, your voice coming going a little, but mostly fine. Okay, I'll try and keep the. I'll close my Chrome. That'll probably help. But for the time being, we have a lot of liquidity just above at 98k. There's also a possible Stuba fib short from the high at 98 that we just did on. What's that? The 2nd of May. And a lot of liquidity just above that. And conversely, to the downside, we don't have a lot until. Oh, God. We don't have a lot until we get down towards like 91.5, where most of the long liquidity is. So that's liquidations. In terms of long to short ratio, we're at an all-time low back on the 2nd of May, with about 64% of the market short. Since then, since the 2nd of May, we've been steadily increasing in longs, and we're now about 53%, 54%, 53.5% short. So still more shorts in the market, but that has been steadily increasing. And we'll just start off with that, and I'll close my Chrome, and hopefully everything will be fine. Yeah, I'm not sharing my Chrome just because I don't want to overload my laptop right now. I just want to make sure it's okay. But I am on the charts now, as you can see. And if I do end up staying in Malaysia a little bit longer, I will obviously get a monitor so I can stream like normal. But I'm literally only on my laptop at the moment, so I have to like. It's just a little bit. It's a little bit annoying. So I wonder if I can get the chat up on my phone at the same time. Yes, I can. Okay, cool. Chat's on my phone. All right. Nice, nice, nice. So here we are. I'm in Malaysia. It's actually incredible over here, guys. This place, hidden gem in Southeast Asia, by the way. Kuala Lumpur. Lots of international students at uni, so there's enough people, a lot of stuff to do. Um, yeah, I'm a bit jet lagged. My sleeping pattern's absolutely non-existent, and I've been going out on the weekend, so having some fun. But Bitcoin actually looks pretty good. We'll start off with the daily time frame. Of course, we've kind of hit this sort of 98k level. and have since seen a slight bit of a pullback. Now, this is going to act as support, this sort of yearly open, May, all this stuff is really good. And I'd say until we get a close above, sort of below 93.5-ish on the daily time frame, or maybe even on the 4-hour time frame, it looks good for more upside as of right now. The local price action we have obviously been breaking down since the weekend, but I think this looks not bad at all. It's actually not bad. We've had this nice wick this morning. Uh, whatever time that is, probably in the night for you guys. And right now we're coming back down for a retest on the daily weekly open, so there could be an interesting long here. Obviously logs have been increasing all the way down on this move, so we'll have to keep that in mind. But I definitely think it's worth maybe a punt. And yeah, we could see a wick down into possibly 93k. Yeah, around sort of like these sort of lows to clear that. But yeah, we want to see this sort of hold. It's the local price action is a little bit sort of wishy-washy, and it looks like we're going to go sideways for a bit, which I wouldn't mind at all. But yeah, I might have a share my screen. Oh, it's because, bro, guys, it's because I've joined on my phone. Okay, so if I join on my phone, then it just kicks me out on my laptop. Fucking sick. Amazing. So I can't get the chat up on my phone. But anyway. Ah, the struggles. I'll start that again. Anyway. So yeah, Bitcoin not looking too bad. Kind of just still in an uptrend until we sort of like break these lows. I'm looking at 93.6, 93.5 for a 4-hour close below. I don't see this stopping just yet. And on this sort of slide down, yes, we have had some longing, but the momentum has completely reset, which is really really interesting. And I think, I think I might be going for a little long here on Bitcoin. Really easy stop. I think it's going to be sort of something like this, 1.5%, maybe even 2 if you're trying to catch something a little bit lower. But yeah, not looking too bad at all. And I think the daily, if we just go back quickly to the daily, it's looking pretty decent. Of course, we're overdue for a pullback. We have got this red dot on the daily, and we obviously have a fair value gap all the way down at 86k, where I know there's a lot of liquidity. But I just don't really want to bet against this just yet until we get a 4-hour close below 93.6. So yes, that is going to be me. ETH Bitcoin's still doing absolutely nothing, so we're not even going to talk about that, even though we do usually talk about this on Monday. We should probably talk about like weekly closes, as it is Monday. So yeah, let's get a fresh chart. Oh my god, the lag. I'll take that off. So the weekly candle's a little bit rough. Actually closed with a nasty wick, and we closed below the May level, but all in all I don't think it's looking too bad, and I think there's still a macro stuber still on the cards, so we could see something like February at the highest around 100k, and then either come down and break the yearly open or hold it as support. But yeah, it's looking pretty decent. I'm not trying to get in the way of this just yet, and I'm pretty happy to take this long, preferably around 93.6, and then yeah, maybe a stop at 93, something along those sort of lines. And I am going to check the chat every now and then just to make sure everything's okay, because I hope the internet is not too bad. Yeah, so I joined on my phone and it kicked me out on my laptop, which is really annoying. So I can't have the chat up at the same time that I have my chart up because I'm only on one screen. But yeah, cool. Anyway, ETH. Let's have a look at the old ETH. ETH's really struggling. I'm not gonna lie. when we were down here on the weekly, I said it does look bottomed. We have had the first retest, and we've actually not closed above the Q2 just yet. So it's still looking actually a little bit rough. I think we could possibly see a little pullback here and then maybe a retest of the low. If we did get we have got the green dot on the oscillator on the weekly though, which is a really good sign. So if we did get a retest of sort of like, let's say, let's call it 1.6, I would be longing the shit out of that personally, as I think this is going to hold. I think 1.5k is going to hold as the low personally. But yeah, it's still looking a bit rough, and we do have some hidden bearish on the daily, which is continuation down. So if we do get a retest of 1.6k, I'm going to be longing that. But right now, it looks interesting, to say the least. I think on the 4 hour, it's not looking the worst. It's actually not looking the worst at all. We're still above the Q2, and we kind of look like we're consolidating in this sort of sideways channel. But yeah, it's actually not too bad. It's actually not looking too bad for a potential long, which is potentially what I'm looking at. Solana. Let's get a fresh chart, and we'll turn these off. So initially, let's take that off, and we'll close that down. Damn, it's so weird not having an external monitor to have my chart on. It's really annoying, actually. So, Solana, 4 hour chart. We're underneath actually the big area of support, which is very interesting at the moment. We've also bearishly retested that just this morning on this sort of like pump up. I still think this is looking potentially very dangerous if we don't hold this daily weekly open. Yeah, I think this could probably retest a little bit lower, maybe 135. But in general, the direction is still up. I think Solana is going to be a very good bet for potentially more upside. And if we get, Q2, or if we get the complete Stuba retrace from the low, so something like in between 120 and 125, or in between 102 and 108, I think that'll be areas of interest if we do come that low. But I don't think we're actually going to get that low. I would be potentially looking at 135 to maybe hold. But it does potentially look very interesting. So yeah, I'm currently not in any positions, obviously being in Dubai for a week, and I'm now trying to get used to this time zone in Malaysia and stop partying. But I think I'm going to wait for a little bit more clarity before I actually start taking trades. The Bitcoin long is fine for me because I can have a 1%, 1-ish% stop. And yeah, I don't mind longing Bitcoin with a decent amount of size. But altcoins are looking a little bit more rough at the moment just because Sol potentially breaking underneath all this support and structure. Also, we have a low low and a low high at the moment, or an equal high, just from this Q4. So, and also ETH just looks absolutely horrible. So, alt maybe a little bit less focus for me this week. Let's look at PopCat briefly on the daily time frame, which has been doing very well. So, yeah, we've had a really nice pump on PopCat, and we currently are looking a little bit rough on the daily. This June and May level was heavy resistance, and we're just holding low at the moment, just about. We did actually break it on the 4 hour from this, so this is a new low, which means you could pull a fib from here to here, maybe probably that one. And what do you know, that would be June, May for a potential short on PopCat, which I think looks quite nice if that were to potentially play out. And I would probably bet some money that the 4 hour combination band comes in. No, it doesn't. So I would lose that bet. But yeah, I think that potentially looks not too bad for maybe a short. And if we do sort of get a bounce on this daily weekly open, then yeah, I'll be more than confident on that. Just out of interest, what's the range on this? 1.75% range in between the 786 and 886 for PopCat. So about 40 cent to about 408. Just May to June, essentially. So yeah, not too bad, but PopCat absolutely killing it on the lower time frames. As always, and there's always massive opportunity here if you really are absolutely creaming for a trade. Slap on the 3 minute, slap on the 5 minute, slap on the 15 minute, and you'll be able to get a trade set up at any time of the day. But yeah, how's everyone doing? It's been a little while. I'm a little bit rusty in terms of streaming. Um, yes, we've got Primo, we've got Maz, we've got Brummy, we've got Shibue, a little Chonk, Gallin here. A little bit quiet in the last week or two, I've noticed in the Discord. I mean, not really too much is happening in the market at the moment. Absolutely nothing happened on the weekend, so I guess I'll just keep rattling off the charts. But if anyone wants me to look at anything in particular, feel free, and maybe we'll have a little story time towards the end when my voice starts. When I start getting bored of my voice. I can tell you, I was literally at a bar last night, and like these 5 Chinese girls were trying to chat to me. I've got a picture of them. What good DeFi apps? I don't know any at all. I literally can't help you there. I know that Aave is obviously the big one, but I actually have no clue about anything in DeFi. The reason why I don't like DeFi so much is because you don't really know what's legitimate, and I would prefer for it to be regulated in some sort of sense. And there's just always new. There's like how many new DeFi apps are coming on every week? I can't even count. So someone else might be able to help you a little bit better with that one. But yeah, how's everyone feeling about the market in general? Because I feel like I've been away for a while, but not too much has happened since. So when did I go? I literally went on the 25th when we did this spike, and we basically done nothing on Popcat since. What's really nice is that Hype's doing really well. So I talked about this probably on Thursday or Friday in my stream, saying that this level is going to give a nice bounce, and we have, and we're currently above May and the weekly open. So this is looking double decent, and I had a massive long on this from about 16. I think it was around here in this area. Damn, this lag is crazy. I'm also using a fake book as a mouse pad because I'm on a glass table right now. Struggling. But yeah, I accumulated a hype long down here, and I was literally 80% down when it was on $10. But luckily I'm on cross, 3x cross, so I wasn't really sweating too much. And now I'm like, I must be like 70% up. So pretty decent actually on hype. I'm not even gonna touch this trade until the yearly open actually. I'm probably gonna set a few orders in between the yearly open and February. And then yeah, for probably like 80% of my trade, and then reaccumulate when we come back down. But yeah, super strong coin hype. Also Sui as well, looking potentially very decent. But I think this could come a little bit lower, maybe in between $3 and 287, just as a test of this little swing. And we also have the March level, which was resistance over here, as you can see. And yeah, I think this could probably get a retest somewhere in there, especially as this this sort of like price action in between looks like a bearish retest. The only thing that would invalidate this would be a hold of the weekly open and then a new high. But even then, I'm not really too confident on the altcoin market at the moment. And potentially even Bitcoin, I know I said I could long it, but I could potentially see it going a little bit lower for that 91k liquidity. I think I said it 91.5. So yeah, I think I could potentially see the market having a little move down, which is why I'm not really that interested in longing altcoins. Yeah. But don't get me wrong, I still think the market is in an uptrend, and I think we're going to go a little bit higher. I think we just need a little cool off or a little slight pullback. Another coin that's been doing really well and is actually strong at the moment is Tau. So this has actually had a really, really big bounce off its lows. Let's have a look at this. About 130%, not the biggest, but actually pretty darn decent. I think this is a really nice retest, and we now have mega support all the way down to 270. So if we got down to 270 to 275, to probably 270 to 280, I would be interested in longing this again, or adding to my spot bag, because I do have quite a big spot bag that I accumulated sort of in between 380 and 300, sort of around this area. So I think I'm in profit on that. But yeah, not looking too bad. Injective also has had a little bit of volume coming in recently, and the reason that I find Injective interesting is because it potentially looks like it's going to break out. Very potentially. The reason I say that is because on the 4-hour, yes, we haven't made a new high from here, but it's also untested, so I think we could go and see it higher. We've also finally been supported on this block right here, which was initially resistance, but now we've got that little test. So if we do get let me take that off. This was a trade that I was actually going to take if we were to break May. But yeah, I think this could be forming maybe a nice range to potentially scalp out in between 10.5 and where we are right now, or maybe 9.1. And if we go down to the slightly lower time frames, there could be a nice little long on the retest of this weekly open. And the reason I say that is because we've tested May, so what's going to happen is we're either going to break this, and I'm going to lose potentially 2%, or we're going to break May on the next go, and we're going to go all the way up to this stupid pocket about 10%, which I probably think is less likely, but you know, it's potentially looking interesting. That actually came all the way down into there and closed actually just above. Again, it's Monday. It's looking a little bit wishy-washy. I would like to see the market settle a tiny bit, but I quite like this volatility. I like that potentially for a retest. I do. It just does look a little bit weak. Interesting. Very interesting. Fed's another one that's actually been doing really good off the lows, and it still hasn't broken structure. So I've got this, I think this line is from all the way back there. Yeah, so this is like a long-term swing, which was actually some sort of bottom back in mid-August before we pumped up to $2, nearly $2.2. So we've actually tested this once, and we're currently finding support on the weekly open in March, which is overlapping at the moment. Interestingly enough, I think that maybe this has a good chance of holding on the 4-hour. Maybe something in between, let's say 0.63 and 0.58. And yeah, that combination band is overlapping with that demand zone as well. So it's looking maybe potentially interesting. We are getting the green dot on the oscillator as well. is I don't know. What are you guys looking at? Are you short? Are you long or short on the market at the moment? Are you also looking at any altcoins to potentially long or short as well? And how's the stream? Is the stream okay? Hope it's all good. Or is everyone just chilling? Trying to let the market settle a little bit. See, I know FET's in a downtrend on this little 1 hour, but the reason why potentially you could take a long here is because one, you have the combination man, two, you have the weekly open and March, three, the stop's going to be really tight. It could be like, yeah, it could even be like 1% from there. And then you know that you're going to go down to 6-1 if you lose that. Chilling at the moment, yeah, me too. I've had a crazy weekend, bro. Crazy weekend. And Shep G, who I also met at the MDX party, is gonna link me with, he's like a record label in KL. So I'm gonna be going to some interesting events in the next week. KL's amazing. It's cheap. It's fun. It's relatively safe. There's a lot of different people here because they have some good international students from uni, which I was talking to a few of the bartenders and actually a few Chinese uni students over the weekend. So there's actually a lot to do. Great nightlife, um, cheap taxis, cheapish food, good quality. So yeah, I'm pretty happy at the moment. The only thing is the time zone's really just kind of bizarre. So if I wake up in the morning, there's absolutely no volume in the market. Maybe just because it was Sunday, but we'll have to see. Let me go back to the chart. So yeah, potentially along on FET, potentially along on Bitcoin, shaping up, but it's not. And then yeah, a short maybe on Sol, which is kind of already doing the jump and dive at the moment. What else are we looking at? Aave. We've got Aave, Ada. Aave, Ada, dot Litecoin link. I'm not really like wholly interested in that. It's just still looking pretty decent, isn't it? It's just, I think we're going to go maybe sideways and grindy down for a little bit. It's not looking like the price action is very exciting or has been for the last week. Although TIA is really down at these lows. So I think I said that I had some orders in between. Those got hit and I'm also down on those, but my position has always been down on TIA. So if you're not in a position on TIA, these levels are very interesting on it. We're literally, I know the chart looks low-key wrecked, but we're literally at this all-time low. You know what, I might just absolutely accumulate a giga trade on TIA on 3x. Might be fun. How's Render doing? Because you know I like me some AI coins. Um, is that relevant? No, that is not relevant. I mean, you actually had, I probably drew that and didn't act on this at all, but you actually had, just before I delete this, 1, 2, 3 longs off this before it finally broke, which is quite interesting. Anyway, 12 hour. Yeah, so I think this is coming out of an accumulation phase, and it probably looks pretty decent on the daily. Not to mention reclaiming 4.1 and 4.2. This is a key area, even all the way down into 4.05. This is a very key area that we backtested twice on both of these wicks. We are bear diving on the daily, but it's not really the end of the world at the moment. I'm still looking for this to potentially go higher. And the reason why I'm looking heavily at AI coins like Render and FET is because the news about Nvidia making all the chips in the US, I think is going to go absolutely hard this year. I think it's going to bring up, for example, Tau, Render, FET, all been exceptionally strong out the gates from the lows. So I think it's really good to focus on some stuff like that. And they're all just generally good projects as well, with charts that are looking potentially very decent to test a lot higher. So yeah, this looks really nice. And we've also done the gains of. We want to hold 4.1 on the daily. So when we tested it twice on the 28th and on Wednesday, we tested both of those times and set a new high, and now we're also finding it as support again. So, it actually looks pretty decent. We're probably in some sort of stuba. We're also in overlapping demand. We've also got the weekly open as an area of support. So, yeah, I mean, not bad. Not bad at all. I should have been looking at the charts. Actually, no. 12, 4 a.m. Yeah, no. Absolutely not. Small long on Bitcoin started overnight, just shorted SUI, but small scalp positions. I think there is a bank holiday in Asia today, so could be why low volume. Oh, I think is UK on a bank holiday as well? Or am I tripping? May bank holiday. Yeah, I think UK is on a bank holiday as well, so that's probably why we're having a little bit of a slow moment. Yeah, early May bank holiday. It's bank holiday in UK, so everyone's probably just chilling. But yeah, I think tomorrow is when we're going to get a nice bit of action. So potentially I might start streaming an hour earlier. So it'll be 10, 9 UTC, 10 a.m. UK. And then it'll be 5 p.m. here in KL. So I can do 1 hour and then go eat dinner and then potentially go have some fun in the evening. Because there is a lot of fun to be had over on these sides. Um, but yeah, if anyone wants me to chart anything, let me know. If not, I could just chat to you guys briefly about the 100k pie. So, Dubai. My thoughts on Dubai are it's obviously a great place to have some sort of residency for tax purposes. To live there, I'm personally not the biggest fan of it. One, it's so hot. Two, it is generally quite expensive, but the services are all good, so you pay for what you get. So I don't really have a problem with the pricing. It's just that you could find as good stuff for way cheaper. So, for example, I'm in an absolutely amazing location in Kuala Lumpur. I'm in an amazing one-bedroom apartment. It's probably like 800 quid a month. I could probably get it even cheaper if I rented it out for longer and if I paid in the local currency, and I could also probably get a discount from the guy at the counter if I make friends with him. So potentially very cheaper. Also, the people are way nicer. Everyone in Dubai is just rich, so it's like I'm solo traveling, and it's way easier for me to meet people slash make friends. I've already made like I've already got like 10 different people's Instagram, girls and boys, and made friends with a couple bartenders that potentially can take me out to all the good spots in the local area. So in Dubai, it's just not really like that for me. Everyone, of course, Dubai is way safer. So if you wanted to like start a family or start a business, I think Dubai is probably better. But you know, I've come to KL and instantly I'm actually just having so much more fun and way more in love with sort of the lifestyle here. So potentially for me, I'm not really a big fan of Dubai. I don't know, man. It's not it's not for me, but it definitely has its perks. Um, but bro, like for example, okay, let me put it this way: I'm 5'8" and I'm not rich in London. Yeah, I have a little bit of money, but I'm not rich. I come over to here, I'm average sized, and I'm fucking loaded, absolutely loaded. So I'm literally, and I'm literally like a 9 out of 10 in Asia or South America. Back home, like a 7 out of 10. So I'm literally playing life on easy mode over here. You know? Then again, I am 26 years old and I'm single, so that might be skewing my opinion a little bit. If you're early 30s, have a lot of money, or have a family, I think probably you're looking at maybe Dubai potentially. But yeah, it's a 100k party was pretty fun. Uh, I met the boys. I've got some funny stories I don't know if I can really talk about, but yeah, it's it was definitely an experience for sure, for sure. Mads knows exactly what I'm talking about. Mads knows exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't know. I keep pressing on Chrome because I think I have my other um, display up. It's gonna have to take some getting used to. But yeah, I might have to do some research on visa in Malaysia. Probably quite easy for UK citizens to get a visa. Uh, that good old colonization coming in clutch for us guys. I'll take the benefits where I can. Of course it was bad. We can all say that it was bad. But yeah, um, I don't know, man. I can literally go Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong for like 50 to 100 quid, like 50 100 quid flight from here, and a one-way flight on Malaysia Airlines back to London, £300. Not bad. I paid 350 one way to Dubai, which is a 7-hour flight, which is halfway. So, you know, it's a absolute vibe out here. I could definitely potentially see myself living here. Bro, travel and enjoy, go to all those places. Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, I'm out here, I might as well. But the, the problem is, well, it's not a problem, but I don't really have that much stuff on me, and streaming's going to be a little bit difficult by moving around so much. So it'd be quite nice to have a base, which would probably be Kuala Lumpur. Then I can get like a monitor. Wi-Fi is pretty decent, and yeah, I left all my Benjamins at home because obviously I stopped off in Dubai. So I might have to go back and get more shit and then come back at another time, or like potentially apply for a longer term visa and then come back. Because I do miss working. I miss streaming when I don't do it for too long. Like a week off's nice, but I need to stop pressing Chrome. But yeah, what do you guys want to see? Do you want a few more charts, potential setups, or I think we should maybe get some setups on the go because I think it's valuable to know the setups on Monday before Tuesday comes around, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is usually when most of the volume come through, and then Friday is literally just a fuck around day, and then weekend you can just go and scalp out Popcat and have a bit of fun. Like for example, okay, AVAX, yes, it's losing its daily and weekly open right now, which is not great. But what I will say about AVAX is there is going to be a nice Stuba pocket which kind of overlaps with this overlapping support right now. So if we were potentially to close this candle in here and then regain the weekly open, I think there's a high chance of this going back to like $22. Especially we've got the green dot on the oscillator. We're in the combination band. We're also on overlapping support. So, it's these are things I look for and potentially to take a trade. It would be nice if we didn't close this candle below the weekly open now, because that would make a new low from here, right there, which we actually got supported on initially. That would be nice, but it doesn't have to happen. We've got 1 hour 15 minutes, so if we close that underneath, I want to see the next 4-hour candle close above the daily week open. If that happens, I'll take the long on that. Because I need to pay for all the stuff that I'm paying for. I'm literally I don't want to get too much into what I've been up to because I'm recording this. But yeah, it's good fun out here. If anyone is thinking of coming over, let me know, and I'll know all the great spots for you because I'm doing a lot of research at the moment, like experience research. So I'm going to like a lot of places and I'm talking to a lot of people to get the lowdown. Ada, not really too interested in that. Dot. Yeah, I mean, this area is obviously an area of interest, 3.73 to 3.65. I mean, yeah, if I would probably set some alerts in between there and monitor the price action. It's going to really depend on how many longs we get in the market when Bitcoin comes down, potentially 93.5 and 91.5. If we start getting a shit ton of longs, then yeah, we could maybe go even on that 86k liquidity. But we're not there yet at the moment, and we are still in an uptrend, so I'm still like apprehensively bullish. I just think maybe it could be time for a little cool down. But like I said, the oscillator on the 4 hour is completely reset, and we haven't even broken anything yet. So that's a really good sign. And there's still more shorts in the market, even though we have obviously increased a lot of longs on this down move. I just yeah, apprehensively still bullish, and it still looks good. Am I getting filled at the moment? I can't open my exchange at the moment because it's going to overload my laptop. Someone said they were in a short on Sui, which I actually quite like. Uh, yeah, from December, if you got that, or if you got 3.45, you're absolutely chilling. In between 3.45, 3.46, you're absolutely chilling. I would say, I'd say yeah. I'd say we're in a downtrend. We've hit this as resistance. I'd say wait for the weekly open, take most of your profit off, leave maybe even 50% to potentially go lower. Because if we look at the 4 hour, like I said, I think this could come back down to $3 because it looks just a little bit like grindy down, and also the 4 hour just looks a bit rough. But yeah, good trading, bro. I I like your style. I like it a lot. What else? I haven't really had a look at Near in a while. Not too much interest from me, actually. I'm just not really a big fan. And let's check Fartcoin because I regularly check Fartcoin, and then I might actually go get some dinner or even go to sleep. I literally been like sleeping 4 hours a night because I've either been out or absolutely fucking wired or doing activities, if you know what I mean. Yeah, Fartcoin, this thing is fucking sick. Bro, I remember on Farcoin, obviously being like, yeah, I'm going to accumulate a massive trade in between. What did I say? 35 and 30 or 25. And then I was on a call with some guy. I can't remember what his name was, but I actually longed. I must have longed like 5-2 just to show him how to put a limit order in. And then obviously closed it because it was a little bit wishy-washy. I should just kept the trade. But this thing's a beast, man. I would love to accumulate some sort of 3x cross position on this, especially if the daily were to come down sort of like to 90 cent, maybe even underneath. But yeah, fat chance. We've kind of already done the retest of the high at 92 on Sunday, just gone, right here on this candle, and have since made a new high. So potentially you could even pull a fib from this low to this high. We're on the 618 right now. If we were to get that back down into a dollar and even sort of like the yearly open in February, I might have to start accumulating a bit of Farcoin just on 3x lev. 344, yeah, that's good, man. That's definitely very good. Definitely like that a lot. But yeah, I mean, it's good to be back. I'm gonna be a little bit more active in the chats because I'm gonna be trading a little bit this week. After having a week off, I feel like my eyes are very fresh. But yeah, how long have we been going for? It's been about 50 minutes. Oof. Is the use protection? I am. Maz. Do not worry. Just went and bought some more. Is it just me that can't see the screen share? Um, I'm not sure. I think my thing might be lagging. Is it still on near? I'm on Farcoin at the moment. Are we okay? Are we alive? Are we alive right here? Yeah, we're struggling now. On Sui for me. I just did Fartcoin. Okay. Uh, that's a Discord thing. That's either a Discord thing or my laptop thing because my trading view is fine at the moment. My OBS is on. Let's have a look. Let's see if my OBS is fine because I did just have a look at Fartcoin. My OBS is fine. It's changing. My trading view is fine. It's changing. It's just Discord that's frozen on Sui. Now near Sui again. What? Okay. Well, Wi-Fi is a bit patchy, but it seems to have kind of held out for 45 minutes, 40-ish minutes. So I'm actually happy to hear that. I would love to get a new monitor in here, especially like a nice little curved one. To be honest, tech I thought would be way cheaper here, so I went and had a little look at what tech was like, how much tech is. It's not even that much cheaper here. Because, like, what, China and Taiwan are just there. Surely you can just fly it out for a little bit cheaper. But it's not even that much cheaper. But yeah. It's been a pleasure to be back. If my stream, if it's frozen, is it, what are we on now? Are we on Sui or are we on near? That's fucking annoying. Do you know what? I'm gonna stop my OBS